nuclear-free.
Carbon-free and nuclear-free.
That's the world we want to be.
That's the world we want to be.
We don't want your radiation.
We don't want your radiation.
We just want a solar nation.
We just want a solar nation.
We don't want your frack pollution.
We don't want your frack pollution.
We all need a clean revolution.
We all need a clean revolution.
So my name is Judson. I'm with the Nuclear Information and Resource Service.
My name is Kevin Kamps with Beyond Nuclear.
Today we're in Philadelphia in front of City Hall, and we are going to march in the Climate March for a Clean Energy Revolution.
I'm Jessica Azulay with Alliance for a Green Economy.
Hi, my name is Jeanne Shaw, and I come from Croton-on-Hudson, New York, 5.5 miles from Indian Point.
Once again, we are at the Climate Change March in Philadelphia. It's July 24th, 2016. Could you ladies give us your names?
I'm Sarah Hess from Ithaca, New York.
Kathy Russell from the town of Dryden, New York.
We have to keep it all in the ground. Gas, oil, coal, and uranium. None of it is good for us. All of it will kill us. Keep it all in the ground now.
My name is Catherine Skopik, and I'm marching with the Nuclear-Free Carbon-Free Contingent.
Luann Cosma and Ellis Bowl from Michigan.
You want to get Jessica Azulay? You want to interview her right now?
She's right here.
Sure. Tim Judson with the Nuclear Information and Resource Service.
And what brings you here today?
Well, we're here with the Nuclear-Free Carbon-Free Contingent at the March for a Clean Energy Revolution. We've been working with grassroots groups across the country over the last few months to organize this contingent to bring that message to the Clean Energy March.
And can you give people some understanding of what's happening in the nuclear industry right now?
So the nuclear industry is actually in the midst of a collapse right now. We've got a bunch of dirty, dangerous old reactors in the country, and these things are becoming prohibitively expensive to operate, and reactors are closing in different parts of the country. What's happening as a result of that is the dirty energy industry is pushing states for billions and billions of dollars in bailouts to keep these reactors going. And what the reality is that, if the states go for that, they're going to be putting billions and billions of dollars into supporting dirty, dangerous old nuclear power plants that are going to close anyway, instead of putting that money into solar power, into wind power, energy efficiency, and the clean energy solutions that we need to solve the climate crisis.
So you're suggesting that the nuclear industry is no longer competitive in a deregulated market?
They were never competitive at all, but because of a $100 billion bailout they got in the 1990s, they were able to compete in the energy markets for about a decade, and that time is over. And now that time is over, they're here again for another $100 billion bailout.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the listening public?
Sure. Well, the reality is that that we have the clean energy solutions we need right here. And we have the cost of wind and solar has decreased by several-fold over the last several years. Energy efficiency and wind are now the cheapest sources of energy on the planet. Solar power is going to be there soon, and we just can't afford to mess around with fossil fuels and nuclear power anymore.
And from your perspective, how is the United States doing in terms of moving towards renewable energy compared to other countries around the world?
Well, it depends on what parts of the world you're talking about, but the leading countries are putting up renewable energy at a far faster clip than the United States is, and we're in danger of falling behind in the clean energy revolution. China and Germany have outpaced the U.S. in renewable energy over the last several years, and it's really an embarrassment. We have the opportunity to catch up, and we can do it.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to talk a little bit about radioactive waste of the nuclear power industry and the Department of Energy. They dangle money in front of communities that are low income and desperate and try to get them to consent, in quotation marks, to take this most deadly poison that humans have ever generated into their community, where it would then stay probably forever. They say it's centralized interim storage, it's de facto parking lot dumps. And we're very much facing that issue right now. Yet again, they're proposing the top target in the country is West Texas. It's a facility called Waste Control Specialists Limited Liability Corporation in a largely Hispanic area of West Texas, right on the border with New Mexico. And there's already an application to build and operate this facility. And what that would mean is that trucks and trains and barges on the roads and rails and waterways of this country through most states would carry high-level radioactive waste in unprecedented shipment numbers through major cities, major metropolitan areas, and park it on a low-income, people of color community in West Texas. The number 2 target is in New Mexico, where Leona's from, in the right nearby to Waste Control Specialists in Texas. It's very near the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant, which is a repository for military plutonium wastes. Now they want to park the commercial high-level radioactive waste there too. That's the second target. And then they're also targeting Native American reservations. They're also targeting nuclear power plant sites like Dresden, Illinois, Morris, Illinois, which has 3 reactors. 3,000 tons of high-level radioactive waste is already there, and they want to bring high-level radioactive waste from across the country and park it there.
And where are you located?
Syracuse, New York.
And what brings you down here today?
Well, I'm here because I believe in a carbon-free and nuclear-free energy system. I want to see us move to 100% renewable energy. And right now in New York, instead of moving in that direction, our governor is trying to bail out the nuclear industry under the guise of climate action, calling it clean. They want to spend somewhere between $8 and $10 billion subsidizing nuclear power. And I think that that's going to block renewable energy. It steals money from the renewable energy future that we need. So I'm here just to raise my voice and tell people that we need to get rid of all dirty and dangerous energy sources. If we're going to save the planet from climate change, we want to have a non-toxic climate to save, so that's why I'm here.
And can you tell people what the economic situation is of the 3 nuclear plants in upstate New York?
Yeah, so, despite all this talk about nuclear power being cheap, it's not, and it cannot compete in the market in New York. And the nuclear plants are losing money, and so they're trying to save them from economic collapse, and we think let them close, let them go down. It's a failed technology economically, for the environment, it's bad for the environment, and we say let them close and let's move to a renewable energy system right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the last thing I'll talk about is Yucca Mountain, Nevada, which is Western Shoshone Indian and Paiute territory that's recognized by the United States government in the Treaty of Ruby Valley of 1863, a peace and friendship treaty that was violated by the creation of the Nevada nuclear weapons test site, where some 1,000 nuclear weapons were exploded, many of them in the atmosphere, on the surface of the land, and then hundreds more underground, many of which leaked. And for 25 years now, Yucca Mountain, Nevada has been targeted as the permanent burial site, the dump for high-level radioactive waste. We've stopped that too. We need to stop it again. The Republicans want to resurrect the Yucca Mountain dump zombie. So we got a lot of work to do to say no to radioactive racism, no to environmental racism, stop these parking lot dumps, stop these mobile Chernobyls, stop Yucca Mountain.
One of the worst ways to move toward an energy future is to pretend that nuclear power can do it. Nuclear power is dirty. Nukes are dirty, dangerous, and expensive. You would think that the nuclear regulators, the people that are supposed to protect us, the Environmental Protection Agency is supposed to protect us from radiation, but right now we are facing the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, changing the radiation standards while actually making new guidelines that increase the allowable radioactivity in water after an accident to tens, hundreds of thousands, even millions of times what is currently allowed. We're now facing, coming down through Pennsylvania, from Canada down to South Carolina, high-level liquid radioactive waste. As we fight the high-level solid waste, the mobile Chernobyl waste, we now are facing 150 shipments of liquid, highly enriched uranium waste with plutonium in it that could be extremely devastating. It's more radioactive than the high-level liquid bomb waste out at the Hanford weapons site. What we have been fighting over the decades is to prevent nuclear waste from being deregulated and going into regular garbage dumps. And we've got the danger of that here in Pennsylvania, of radioactive waste going into regular garbage dumps. And this is happening around the country. And even though Pennsylvania has a law against it, that material is getting into regular garbage dumps as well.